What's going on, everybody? This is the third installment of Tub Talks.
Today, joining us for Tub Talks, we got our boy George.
Woo!
The amazing, the wonderful, poppin', window installing
Glorious.
Glorious. All right, so we're going to talk to George a little bit about one of his interests. George is an artiste. He likes to draw.
A very good
artist. We'll
Very
have
good
some pictures popping up on the screen. Boom, here's one. You like that? That was a good one, right? So I got a little list of questiones for you, boyo. So number one, Mr. George, how did you start to draw?
Well, when I was in 5th grade, I used to go down to the school library a lot because I like to read. And one time I happened upon this crappy, beat-up book in the back of the library that said how to draw manga.
Ooh.
And I got hooked on
Not
it.
manga?
It doesn't matter.
It's going to be a heated conversation.
But yeah, I just started drawing that because I had always drawn stuff like little stick figure battles and crap like that and stuff. But that was when I started drawing people and started getting more detailed and started doing all that crap.
Yeah, so you prefer to draw people, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, I can usually draw backgrounds and, like, stuff that, like, it's just hard to make the background interact with the person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very difficult to make them both look like they're real, you know what I
It's
mean?
like
it's
Bob
hard.
Ross has no people in his pictures.
Or like
paintings.
in like older cartoons when like you can tell which object in the scene is gonna move because it's drawn
yeah,
differently.
it's drawn in, like,
than the
high
rest
res
of
or
the
something.
yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem.
Yeah. So George, what, like you still draw now, obviously. What do you find yourself drawing most of the time?
Honestly, just people, really. I like to draw them. Doing different things. I like to draw different characters, too, you know what I mean? A lot of the time, it just ends up being like a profile picture, some guy just standing there and stuff, but...
Do you like, are they holding props anytime, or is it just the people themselves?
It's a lot of the time it's just the people, but I'm trying to do more like comics and stuff like that. Make it more dynamic and stuff like that. Trying not to just have them standing there or anything. Have them move in a bit, interacting.
Don't you have like a Surface tablet that you draw this stuff on?
Yeah, I've been working on getting in on that. I've also just been working on kind of starting over almost, like getting back to the basics. Like I'm really trying to work on line work and stuff. Like it's something that's kind of like minor and stuff in the grand scheme of things. You can make pictures usually look all right without it, but it's important. Like just making sure you're not just doing a bunch of like sketch lines and stuff, because like a lot of people when they start drawing how they write, and you do a lot of that from your wrist and stuff. But what you really want to do when you're drawing is getting your whole arm into the motion, because you can go for longer, you can go for straighter lines.
I did not know that.
Like stiff wrist.
Pretty much without interrupting the natural curve your arm travels. If you just do it with your wrist, you have a much smaller range of motion, but if you do it with like your elbow or your entire shoulder and stuff, you can get a much bigger line without having to do that and stuff like that.
Is that across the board for everything within a drawing? Like, is there ever a time where you use your wrist?
I mean, obviously it depends on the line you want to do. If you're doing like some big, like, building or something and you need to draw like, most of the page is going to be taken up by that one line, you're obviously going to want to do it with your shoulder or something. But if you're just doing small details and stuff,
Yeah.
Okay. Jot it down with your wrist.
My grandma she draws mostly like flowers and stuff, but I noticed like when she does like the stems or whatever, she doesn't just go, she doesn't just use her wrist, she uses her whole thing. So that's neat. I thought it was just her doing that, but now that I know it's like a technique. It's like a technique.
Technique.
Technique! And the towels are wet. All right, so what do you have a favorite drawing of yours that you like? You look at and you're like, yeah, that's pretty good stuff.
I have a few of them like that. A lot of them, unfortunately, I've kind of lost. A lot of them I've had in notebooks and stuff, and I just end up losing them. But there's one that I guess I call the house party or whatever, and it's just this big drawing, and it's full of people, and they're all just dancing and stuff. And doing their own
that
thing.
sounds awesome.
And
That's so cool.
One of my favorite parts is that it looks cool, and you can't really see any of the floor or the building or anything, and it still looks, like they're in some place and stuff.
How big is it? Is it like...
Oh, it's just a notebook page and stuff.
Okay, that's cool.
It's pretty small, but I don't know, the amount of detail I managed to get in there and stuff, I think it looks pretty cool.
When did you draw that one?
I was up in Alaska working at a cannery. It was the second summer, so it was right after summer of senior year and stuff. So
Nice.
Same.
and I just kind of worked on it that whole summer.
That's awesome.
Just I just
yeah.
added to it.
Yeah. So
slowly,
so it took the full summer?
Pretty
little
much.
longer
It took
than
like
that,
5
or-
months and stuff. I try not to force
Wow.
it or anything. Just I tried to
Let
just
it
add
come to
little.
you.
Well,
Yeah.
I was really working on making all the people different because sometimes I
Yeah.
have trouble making everyone look the same and stuff. And I was trying to, just like, whenever I saw someone who I thought would fit in the drawing, I would kind of copy them and work on them on other pages for a while. And then I'd finally, once I got a pose and where I wanted them on the picture, I'd put them in.
Yeah.
What's like the average time it takes you for just like if you whip out your notebook? Like what's the average sketch?
Well,
that
it
you do?
depends. I don't always start with like a set goal in mind. So sometimes like I'll just draw a person and it'll take like 5 minutes. And sometimes I'll draw a person and then I'll like the way that I, drew their legs.
And so
or
you like
something.
commit
So
to the drawing more.
I'd keep drawing like where they were and like their background and stuff and maybe
That's
other
cool.
people.
Yeah.
But
So which picture do you have that's like the weirdest? Like the most, like not even just like the style, but like the content of the picture itself is like out there, like it's strange.
well, when I was in my freshman year of high school,
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Here we go, everybody. It's getting good.
I went to a school called O'Day. It was an all boys school.
Oh yeah. So you
I did
drawing
not
some
know
girls.
that. I did not know that.
Some of I drew a lot of girls in all sorts of different dynamic poses, and occasionally I would make some money off of it. Just if I did the whole cartoon.
Them
comic and
O'Day
stuff.
boys.
Some of them, I guess the weirdest one out of that somebody asked me to make for them. So he said he wanted a picture with a lamb doing something suggestive, and I told him, I'll do a girl dressed up as a lamb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do a lamb. And he was like, well, as long as she's wearing a mask, it's fine. And I was like,
Okay,
Wow.
like okay,
Wow.
buddy.
Jeez.
What is your ultimate goal with your art? Like what are you trying to achieve in the long run with your art?
well, honestly, I'm not really trying to achieve too much. I want to make some comics and stuff, but I don't mind it just being a hobby. And if I put some stuff online, that would be great if people saw it and stuff. But ultimately, I just do it to make me happy.
Well, that's
Aw.
awesome.
That's what's
I know,
important.
I know that's kind of.
Cause I know like I doodle sometimes. I'd like to like.
What, you doodle stick figures?
Yeah.
They're good.
Nice
Good.
stick figures.
I'd like to see, like, I don't have any animation software or anything, but I'd like to see if I could make like a short little animation. And I know you got a story idea because you could tell. Oh, sorry.
That's
You
true.
tell me about
that's
that
true.
story idea all the time.
I do
That-
have quite a few different kinds of story
Yeah.
ideas and stuff. Heck, me and Rick Lee,
Yeah, Rickle.
we wanted to do a bowling manga type thing because Rick was on the bowling team.
Tricky question. Okay. So we have a little challenge for George. We're all a
no
little
way.
damp out here in the tub. So the challenge is for George to draw something on a clipboard in he has about 5 minutes to draw something.
Not about. He's got 5 minutes.
Exactly 5 minutes to draw something, which he doesn't know what it is, but I'll tell you what it is right now. You're gonna draw the four of us sitting in this tub with the Tub Talk sign
And the umbrella.
and the umbrella.
Well, I'll do my best. Umbrella in there, but we'll try. We'll try.
Do you have the materials needed?
Yes.
I think he does.
All right. So George,
Yes.
what would it take to get you to shave your head?
$50 and a nice dinner, honestly. I'm not too attached to this hair.
Hey, I mean, Rudy's is about $50 for long hair, so I mean,
Here's what I
There you
think.
go.
Here's what I think. You and Emilio together, like a haircut date.
a date?
oh, a date, huh? Hey, bud, you want to go get haircuts?
Hey.
That's my idea of a good time.
Thank you guys so much for watching the third installment of Tub Talks. Make sure to tune in next week for a video on Friday.
See you guys then.
That's right.
Yeah.
Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button.
Bam!
And ring that notification bell.
Thank you so much, George.
Thank you,
We love you.
George.
Thank you. having me.
Wait.
I'm doing my best not
This
to.
is our moment.
We're doing a group.
Oh, I think. Yep. It's happening. Yeah.
All right.
It is happening.
That's
Okay.
right.
All right.